Now, we all know that the iPhone 12 series will feature Apple's brand new chipset, the A14. Not much is known about this right now in terms of the specs, but what is absolutely certain is that it will be a 5nm chipset. This is the new standard. TSMC are manufacturing this for Apple, and some little hints are starting to come out about the performance improvements we're going to be seeing in 5nm chips, and more specifically the new Apple chipset. So as we know, Qualcomm just took the lid off of the Snapdragon 865 Plus, which is an upgrade to the 865. It's not a new chipset as such. It is the same chipset, but it's overclocked. So they do get some higher performance out of that chip. And actually, it's the first mobile chipset ever to cross the 3 GHz clock speed barrier, actually 3.1 GHz, which is just mental for a smartphone chipset. But obviously that's still on 7nm EUV, and this new process, the 5nm process, is going to be even more powerful. Apple's chipsets, though, are the most powerful in the mobile industry, even outperforming Snapdragon chipsets. Apple's chip designs have been the best for years, and of course this 5nm process is going to be powerful. According to some reports, 15% more powerful than the current chipsets, which isn't a massive deal. Every year you do expect some power upgrades. 15% is pretty good actually, but certainly not absolutely stellar. It's a very good, solid increase. But what is way more interesting is the 30% power efficiency savings, which is huge. It's absolutely massive for a 1-year jump. Not only the power improvements, but a huge power efficiency improvement as well. As we know, we got those leaks about the iPhone 12 maybe reducing the size of the batteries a little bit from what we got in the iPhone 11 series. That didn't really make a lot of sense and is quite worrying for battery life overall. Why would you make batteries smaller? Because obviously more features do take out of the battery. But if the chipset is genuinely that much more power efficient, then I guess we've got our answer. The OnePlus Nord camera specs officially unveiled. So this was a post on OnePlus forum and we get the specs from them directly. So main camera, 48 megapixels, Sony IMX586. And there really wasn't any other camera sensor that they could have chosen for this phone. OnePlus used this sensor in all of their phones. The OnePlus 8 main sensor, the OnePlus 8 Pro ultra wide sensor, OnePlus 7T and 7T Pro, OnePlus 7 and 7 Pro, 48 megapixel Sony IMX586. Why have they gone for this image sensor? Well, they obviously bought a load. They've got way loads left over in stock from all of their other phones and they're going to use it here. But really, yeah, they know this sensor. They've had it for a long time, which means that they really know how it works and they can develop a lot of their software around it. So that makes a lot of sense. It is just part of their line of products, and yeah, it just makes sense that they're using this sensor. It is a perfectly good sensor. It's definitely not flagship though. It really isn't got those flagship specs like we're seeing new ones, but it is just solid. It's a workhorse. It does the job, and to be honest, the processor in this phone is going to have a bigger impact on imaging in terms of not being flagship than the image sensor. There's also an 8 megapixel ultra wide here, no zoom camera, you get a macro and a depth. So that's just what mid-range phones have to do. When you're in the mid-range, you have to compete on these numbers and you have to have a quad camera. Depth sensor has its places. Macro is, I guess, well, if you like macro, you like macro, but I maybe use them for camera reviews and I never use them personally, but that's just me. The selfie camera specs were also given to us, 32 megapixel main, and you have that ultra wide camera, and the field of view is 105 degrees, which definitely isn't that wide. Actually, the widest angles maybe go to 120 degrees, so definitely not the widest camera angle. OnePlus don't really have the widest ultra wides. I don't really know why. I don't know if it's a hardware thing or their software, but even the ultra wide that they have on the back of the OnePlus 8 Pro, it's not actually that wide, so they've gone for that again here. Also confirmed was the screen specs, 6.44 inch display, so not a massive display when it comes to Android phones, but there or thereabouts. And it is an AMOLED display, which means Samsung display, 90 Hz refresh rate. For me, for a mid-range phone, that's the best spec. 90 Hz AMOLED screen, OnePlus's operating system, Oxygen OS, and a decent camera. I think for a mid-range phone, you can't really ask for more. So far, all of the news has been about the Note 20 Ultra, and we've seen the specs, we've seen the leaked official renders, and we've seen hands-on videos. We know the design, we know everything about it, but up until now, the Note 20, the base variant, has been quite elusive. That has definitely changed now though. We get these official marketing renders and a video shared by Evan Blass on Twitter, and it shows off the design, and there are some big differences compared to the Note 20 Ultra. Firstly, that flat display, which was revealed in leaks before. A 6.4 inch screen as opposed to the Ultra's 6.9 inch display, so definitely a lot smaller. Actually, 6.4 inches isn't the biggest screen, certainly in the Android world, so this may actually be more of a compact device. Definitely not very compact, but certainly compared to the Ultra. Another thing that you'll definitely notice for sure is the curves on the screen. So the actual screen itself has more of a curved around the edges, whereas on the Note 20 Ultra, it is very more squared off in the edges. The curves are almost completely square. They go right up to the bezels, whereas on this one, you can see definitely more rounded. And this all leads me to believe that this screen really is a mid-range screen. We got those other specs leaks telling us that it was a full HD 60Hz display, which is not a flagship spec for Samsung. And this curve, so this may be a mid-range screen. So we can hope that this phone is actually coming a little bit cheaper. We got some price leaks out of Korea that said that it may be coming a little bit cheaper than the Note 10 did last year. So we'll wait and see on that one. It shares a lot of the design of the Note 20 Ultra. So you have that really nice back with the brand new camera array there. Definitely a much smaller camera array than the Note 20 Ultra though, mainly because it's not using a periscope zoom and it won't be using the HM1 image sensor. That is a very big sensor. It is tipped to get the S20 Plus's camera, so we'll wait and see on that one, but 12 megapixel main sensor, a 64 megapixel zoom camera, and an ultra wide on there as well. Also, we get this leak of the Galaxy Buds Live. Buds Live, the official name, but really they should be called the Beans. That is what they first came as before we knew the official name. And yeah, they are just kidney beans, but we actually get some official images of how they're going to fit in the ear. And yeah, they are actually going to just place themselves right within the ear, so they won't be hanging out. There's no AirPods Pro style long bit hanging out of your ear. It's just fully in the ear. This is definitely a new style in terms of Apple, Samsung designs. There are lots of different TWS earphones out there, but definitely a new and modern take on these TWS earphones for sure. They will have noise cancellation, ANC apparently in there, and you can see they do have silicone tips as well, which is really important. That means you're going to get a nice fit in the ear. And these are definitely modern and really intriguing. I really like the design and it may tempt me to get a pair. This is the news that Instagram are already pushing out their replacement for TikTok. We've seen TikTok be banned from India, and it may also be banned from the States as well, depending on other countries. But it looks like Instagram are taking this opportunity to roll out their replacement, which is called Reels. And apparently they've launched this already in Brazil and India. Obviously India because TikTok is cancelled, so they want to get this out as soon as possible. Instagram now have confirmed that this will be launching in the States in August and 50 other countries very soon as well. So Instagram will actually add this to the Instagram app. They'll have an option there. So if you are recording stories, then it will be an option with all of the other options in stories. So it's not going to be a standalone app, but it will be a TikTok style app. So you will be able to play music on there and do everything you do on TikTok. So now in Instagram, we have the feed. We also have IGTV and stories. Stories was something that they essentially borrowed from Snapchat. Now Reels, that they've borrowed the idea from TikTok. So this app is becoming kind of very cluttered and there's just so many things in the app. But I guess when you have a user base like this, you have to provide them with options. And well, TikTok was just so popular, it literally has taken over everything. And I guess Instagram have to come out with something. They will apparently put also a tab at the bottom that you can actually come into Reels that maybe like a different type of app within Instagram. So I guess we'll see how it will come, and really if it will be popular or if it will just sort of disappear and not be used. Anyway, that's it for your tech news today. Thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one.